Hey everybody, welcome back to H&H TV. We're over here in the R&D center with the 57 Sedan delivery shop vehicle. And as you know, if you've been following along, we have been working on pulling out and replacing the radiator core support. So as you can see, we've now got it mounted in there. And you know, again, we're doing this from the perspective of serviceability, Herman. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You definitely, you know, you can do fancy and you can hide, and man, it looks pretty and it wins awards. But if you're making a car to drive down the road, you want to be able to service it and use it. So that's kind of why we're doing it from a certain perspective. But as you can see, and Herman's done 99.9% of the work on all this. I'm just, you know, doing this number, which is what I do really good at. So we've got it mounted in. We've drilled holes in the panels, and we've, you know, routed our lines and made them look pretty. And then we, you know, we had some new AC hoses made for all of that, wired up. And then, of course, we had to go find a radiator hose, you know, to make that work. Which, you know, fortunately, we have a nice little selection of radiator hoses.
We were
of various different
lucky.
vehicles to use. This is not a specific number for this. This is one. And Herman, do you remember what you got this off of?
No, I don't. It's a
Chevelle.
It's a Chevelle upper hose, but it was a perfect fit onto that ramjet engine.
We got lucky with that angled thermostat housing. But Herman, what do we got to finish this project up and get it where we can fire this thing up and take her down the road for the first time?
Well, we need to get the overflow tank. This comes with a really nice overflow tank, but there needs to be some redesign. You've got these 4 holes already pre-punched in that panel, and then you've got this. Then it has to go down to what I need to do is put a fitting in here, but there's no way to get a hose on there. So what I did is I made 2 more holes, and I'm going to lower it down, and I'm going to go down to Lowe's and get me some nice stainless button head fasteners and just put them in there and to fill those 2 holes up.
Right.
But they need to redesign that a little bit and either punch the holes lower down, which would be the simplest thing to do, or relocate this over here a little bit. I would suggest maybe lowering it down like I've done.
Mm-hmm. And then of course I say we, Herman, you know, we also added this trans cooler that we wanted to use on it, and then we had to build these brackets and attach all that together, and still got to get hoses and lines routed up for that.
Yeah, this 57, we mounted a external transmission cooler there because the Radiator doesn't come with a transmission cooler, and in order to get the original cooling lines there, you have to go drill 2 3/4 holes down in this bottom panel. You really can't see it; it's way back in underneath there, and route the hoses through that. I wound up, this grommet here is another good example. 57 has your air vent tubes coming in from the back of the headlight, and it has a water drain tube in there, and it takes that 3/4 grommet in that tube. So it works perfect on AC lines. It works perfect down there on those transmission lines. This particular one here has a fiberglass cowl induction hood on it. And those fiberglass hoods cannot run hood springs. It bows the hood. So I had to make a bracket here for the hood prop. This is a hood prop for a 95 S10 pickup. And I just made my bracket up here and made my bracket down here. One other thing we've got an issue with, Jason, if you would, get right over here. Oh, we need some light in there. your original, this system works great on 55, 56. You don't have to do anything, but on 57, you've got a problem. And your battery box originally was like this. It had that piece in there. On a 57, if you put this cross-flow system in, you got to modify the battery box, cut that out. You can, because it interferes with the fan. The fan sticks back in the way. You can still put your battery box in here using the two holes over here on the inner fender. I'm going to let that sit there like that. What I wound up doing is I made this piece pretty much match what was already there. And then I'm going to go through my battery box like that into the back side of this radiator support to support the battery box out here on the end. That's the way I'm going to go. Otherwise,
well, keep in
I don't
mind
know
also
anything else you could do, really.
Keep in mind, talking about this, especially the battery box portion here, this was an already built car. This was a car that we are taking this and adding it to it. If you're building the car from the get-go, this is something you could have already, engineered or thought about and either did something different battery box wise, or maybe did a battery box relocation to the trunk or something to that effect. So this is just things we're trying to bring to light, that if you're going to do this on a car that's already done, you're going to have to do some modifications.
Trey mentioned these AC hoses. What I didn't make new AC hoses.
Well, we rebent.
Yeah, I just rebent what I already had, and it worked out great.
And another thing, kind of like the lines, you mentioned having to drill the holes. We chose to reuse the lines that are already on the transmission versus trying to get them out of there and string new line or hose or something. So we're just adapting, again, what's already in the car. Again, if you're building it from Jump Street, if I was doing it from the start and was going to do this, I would have done probably a transmission hose kit versus a line.
Yeah.
Done that instead, again, because I can route that easier. And, this is a line from, there's several different companies out there. Got to show if you want stainless, and there's plenty of black webbing versions and whatnot that are out on the market. I would have done that. But again, we're trying to do it from that perspective of this car's running, driving. We've decided to change something now. Or we saw something at a car show and we liked what this guy did. That's kind of the mindset.
No, the issue we had is with the AC on a 95-degree day and stoplight to stoplight in town, I was getting too hot. And I had the most efficient U.S. radiator, copper radiator in there that money could buy. And I chose to go this route. I've got a $700 Ford tranny in this thing. And I wanted a transmission cooler because the Radiator doesn't have one built in. And I really wanted to hide this transmission cooler up in behind the bumper. But there's so much going on underneath there.
This wasn't possible.
So I made these brackets out here. And again, you gotta think outside the box. You gotta take rubber bumpers and glue them together and space them out and bend these a certain way so that it's holding pressure against that. And I wanted one with a cooling fan on it. Could I got by without that? Maybe. I don't know. It's just that I wanted one. I've got an electrical switch in there that kicks this fan on when the transmission fluid is at 180 degrees. It kicks it back off at 140 degrees.
Yeah, it just gives you some idea of the mindset and perspective of what we've tried to do here. And again, if we were building this car from scratch, from Jump Street, there's things we would have done differently here, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But again, this car was running, driving. How many miles on this thing now?
14,000.
So, you know, it's obviously been up and down the road a few times. It's getting ready to go on a big trip this fall. And this is one of the reasons we wanted to do this, because we're going to take it out through the desert, out through New Mexico, Arizona, that sort of thing. And, you know, really we want something that we know is going to take care of it. And from a cooling perspective, I think we've got that right here without a doubt.
Well, this year's 100th anniversary for Highway Route 66. So we're going to go to Joplin, Missouri, and get on Route 66 and run it out to Kingman, Arizona in this car this fall. So I wanted something that would cool it. I started that running hot.
So, well, folks, that is all. Next step, we got to get a lower radiator hose on there, waiting for that to come in, and then we've got to get the transmission lines hooked up and some fluid in it, and
battery box
and AC recharged, and I think we're ready to take it for a test run. So, next video, we'll talk about those items as we get them installed, and then we'll definitely shoot a video going down the road on our road test and trying to get a feel for temperature and whatnot. So come back next episode on H&H TV on the Sedan delivery cooling project.